Welcome back to another exciting edition of Rake Your Position, where three lifelong friends are living out the dream from the comfort of their chairs. I'm Aaron, your host.
And I am Jay Lee the Rover.
I'm Corey Statman. It is kind of weird. It's just like one old guy here now. Like I feel like it's a little creepy.
Thanks.
It's creepier. It seems.
I can see myself out. Hey, today is Jackie Robinson Day, so
Yay.
Kudos to Jackie. Once again, we had a fun time, episode 42, so you can go back and check that out. We had a lot of fun with Jackie Robinson, but another great day to celebrate good old Jackie. So my mystery question to you all, number 42 is retired by all major league clubs. If you were in charge, who would be your next person to be retired across the board?
Wow.
This is a question that involves a lot of thought, which is not great for an audio medium here.
I'll do background singing.
You can't hear thinking.
Wow. That's a good one.
That's Corey's thinking.
Is it Rusty? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jared is.
Mine's asleep.
Oh gosh, I have to think of this guy's name.
I mean, if you're asking me without any putting like a whole bunch of thought into it, like first thing, I think 24 for King Griffey.
I knew that was coming. Yeah. Man, he changed the game. He was so popular beyond his own team. But yeah, he doesn't have any of those big milestones. But I mean, he's like MJ of baseball. I mean, it's crazy how big he was in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, like, serious answer. There was the guy that kind of led the Union, and I can't remember his name.
Marvin Miller? Free agency guy?
Yeah. Okay.
Marvin Miller, is that right?
Yes.
Google that name, see who pops up.
But I still don't think it's the right guy. Because I don't think he was a player.
No, he was not. The guy that helped get free agency?
Yeah. Man.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The player that fought for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was his name?
I can't remember his name. I should. Oh, Kurt Flood.
Kurt Flood, there we go.
Yes. All right. So that's like my realistic, like nerdy answer. I think if you're talking about kind of the sort of just like historic player. Boy, that's a, because like I just don't think that there's that guy. I think Griffey's up there, but he just couldn't stay healthy. Yeah. I don't know. Like nobody's been no.
I had to give them the question in advance. I told them I had a secret question. Isn't Kurt Flood also the guy? Oh no, that was Rick Monday. Never mind. The guy that saved the American flag.
Yeah, that was Rick Monday. Kurt Flood, I think, had to retire because he got. Boy, I really wish you would have given me a heads up so I wouldn't just be sitting here stammering on about Kurt Flood. I should know Kurt Flood.
I didn't even have a pick in my head, but off top of my dome, I would say probably Hank Aaron. All stuff he had to put up with when he was chasing Babe Ruth, got baseball popular in the South. Probably should. I mean, you could argue him or Barry Bonds, greatest home run hitter of all time. I'm okay with either.
Honestly, I'm thinking about Cal Ripken too, just because like that the consecutive game streak is just, and especially with some of the things that we're going to talk about later, it's just mind blowing. And he will I think that's what people really gravitate to about Cal Ripken Jr. and they don't realize how good of a baseball player he actually was because they just know him for that streak.
Mm-hmm. And then of course Ricky Henderson played for everybody, so you might as well have him retired across the board.
True, might as well. Hear me out. We don't allow him into the Baseball Hall of Fame, but we retire Pete Rose's number across the board.
Do it. Do everything except for Liddy Ben. I think the next number across the board, although maybe we've already missed it, would be somebody from somebody that bridged the gap between the Asian leagues and MLB. They keep getting better.
51.
Like Ichiro is probably the top choice.
Thought about it, didn't say it.
Yeah.
That's one of the
That's a good
jerseys
answer.
in my cart. That's the
we won't talk about that.
yeah.
All righty, guys. So we're going on to the rankings. Last week we had Yankees all of our first place votes. No, excuse me. Dodgers all first place votes. Yankees all second. Braves all third. And we had some hodgepodge down there with the Rangers and Baltimore getting some love. D-backs and Pirates just missed. So, I mean, not much has changed. We didn't really revote. Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, probably the top three, with the Braves probably falling back a little bit. And then there's a lot of teams. Hey, they've got double-digit wins, throwing their name in the hat, but we would probably not think they're the top 5 best teams. So let's just discuss that 4th and 5th spot. Like, who would you throw in there as a top team right now?
I'm not gonna lock these in, but I do
Yeah, fair
going
enough.
back to the Pythagorean records and the base run records, which if you want to know more about that, our editor will input here the episode where we explained that.
Episode.
Yeah. But the Pythagorean record leader is the Kansas City Royals, who have they're projected at 12-4, and then the base runs. Second place is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Again, I will not
High five, Jared.
commit.
You're there on my screen.
I
You
will
had
not
Kansas City
commit.
winning, right?
Yeah, I did. That was actually going to be my 5th spot. So thank you, Corey,
Okay.
for leading the charge on that. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
nice.
that.
I'm not going to commit to either of those teams, but I do just want to point that out. That those
Oh.
are some interesting.
You could
ones.
commit. That's fine because I had Pittsburgh last week.
Man, I tell you, the Astros should
Yeah,
I
you
know
put
they're in
them in there.
last.
Go for it.
No, they're in last, but like everything's saying they should be a lot better than they are, which was the Cubs all of
Oh,
last year.
darn.
They are finding ways to lose, and
Yeah.
I mean, this weekend they somehow salvaged it against was it the Rangers? I think it was. So, all right. So you don't want Kansas City and Pittsburgh in there, Corey. Who would you pick? Give me one team. That's good right now.
Again, not committing, but the Guardians do have 10 wins, which is interesting.
He hasn't committed to anybody.
I haven't. I'm probably not
I
going
think
to.
that's just going to be Corey's answer for that one. Not committing, but
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good teams. It's hard to say who's the 4th and 5th best team, but it's definitely not any of the 3 that I've already mentioned so far. So take it away, Jared.
so you just those are your teams, but you're just not committing.
Yeah, those are some teams that play baseball. Yes.
All right, 3 teams that play baseball. Got it.
Yep.
They have more wins than everybody else, except for the Yankees.
Yeah, like I said, I think we had it nailed with the first 3 teams. I think you could kind of put them in really any order. I mean, the Braves are still finding ways to win without maybe the best pitcher in baseball right now. So that's pretty awesome to do. Again, I know it's early. But in the 5th spot going into this, I had Kansas City. Like for me, I had Kansas City sneaking in. Saw an awesome stat. I think it was yesterday that they had 10 wins by May 8th last year, and then here we are, April 13th, and they already have 10 wins. So it's looking like a lot of this veteran pitching that they signed is really leading that charge. And then Bobby Witt's playing really good baseball. So
MVP probably so far in the American League.
yeah. So that helps out quite a bit. And then it's always fun when you can make a top 10 play from I forget who the base runner was, but just see him deke out Francisco Lindor on the base path the other day.
No.
Dude, you'll have to look it up. It was like an
Okay.
Allen Iverson crossover.
Editor,
base path.
insert the super awesome play here.
I
Correct.
don't know why you're moving your lips like that's going to be.
I'm going to add the audio in later with the
Okay.
correct
Yep.
words.
So it looks like they're just having fun. So it looks like the Royals are doing their thing. And then the 4th spot, I'll probably still put Baltimore there. 10 wins, 10-6. I still think it's a pretty good ball club. Oh man, look at that jersey. That's a nice looking jersey. Should have worn mine today. You could have told me. Just a brief, because he hasn't done much yet, but Jackson Holiday obviously got called up. I think he got his first hit yesterday. So yeah, I just think Baltimore is gonna piece it together, and the Yankees are playing good baseball, but I think kind of what we talked about. I just think it's gonna be Baltimore, New York all season. up at the top of the NL East. So see what happens there. But I would go, like I said, no particular order for 1, 2, and 3, and then Baltimore 4, Kansas City 5.
I had Baltimore 4 as well. I probably would have put the Brewers in there this week. They're just playing great. I want to put the Pirates in there, but the Brewers are ahead of them, so I can't, even though the Pirates have one more win. Percentage-wise, Brewers get the first place. So Brewers, Pirates, all those teams, I think they're all playing out of their minds right now. But hey, it's a weak Central in both leagues. So all those teams that we've mentioned, we didn't even mention the Tigers who have played well, which we thought they would for being young teams. So
it's a good point. The Orioles and the Brewers are both also teams that play baseball.
that's true.
Yep.
I
call,
think
guys.
the only team that does not play baseball is the Chicago White Sox.
That's, you know what, and that is reflected. They are
The Miami
right
Marlins
where
tried to play baseball.
well, the Marlins are worse according to base runs, but the White Sox are right where they should be at 2-13 based on their Pythagorean record.
The Marlins just can't hit. I mean, somehow they scored a lot of runs against the Braves, and they still have horrible offensive stats for the year. So
Jake Burger MVP, what?
he's playing first base. Josh Bell's been DHing.
Yeah,
I still think AJ
That
Puck's got
utility
in the bag.
that
Jake
utility
Burger
out
has
there.
fallen off. Ask my fantasy team.
Jazz Chisholm never fell on, so my fantasy team's struggling. So yeah, it's been a fun start to the season. Every division is pretty tight, really. Which brings us to our next category here, Jared. Some things that might affect the season standings as more games are played.
Yeah, so we're going to swing it into injuries, notably pitching injuries. It's funny that you mentioned that how it could affect some teams. Right now, the Braves are being like, yeah, who cares? You know?
Score 9 runs a game, it's all right.
So, I mean, that tends to help, yes, for sure. But yeah, sorry if I missed some of these big names, but just off the top of my head, Spencer Strider done, Shane Justin Bieber done. Corey shared something, and I'm not looking at it right now, but
That's
Verlander's face. He's coming back Friday.
oh yeah,
well, I had an article up and they were just staring at me.
Who else am I missing here, fellas?
Well, I got a fun little picture here. I saw on Twitter. I think it made its rounds in Slack, Corey. I think you may have seen it too. But this is a list of the picture shows the top 18 hardest throwers from last year. Bobby Miller was number 1, hurt. Hunter Green, number 2, healthy. Sandy, number 3, hurt. Strider, number 4, hurt. Grayson Rodriguez, number 5, healthy. Shane McClanahan, number 6, hurt. Garrett Cole, number 7, hurt. Jesus Luzardo, number 8, healthy. Shohei, number 9, hurt. See the pattern here. Glasnow, number 10, actually healthy. Castillo, number 12, Taj Bradley, hurt. And then Senga and Oviedo are 16, 17. They're both hurt. So out of the top 9 hardest throwers, 6 are hurt. And then half of the top 18 are hurt.
Number 19 is me, and I'm healthy. If anybody wants to
get you in there,
give me a call.
I forwarded them your audition.
Yeah.
So no one's reached out yet?
No, not yet. I think the command was an issue.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I think we talked about this when the rules change first came out last year, and the potential of pitching injuries they could have with the pitch clock. And then what's MLB going to do? They make it shorter. So I think that does have something to do with it. I think you're pushing these pitchers to pitch more frequently in the back of their mind, like gotta hurry up. And again, like those matter of it's a few seconds or whatever, but I think some pitchers have routines, and if you throw those off, their mechanics go out of whack and they're overthrowing, they're overforcing. And I mean, to your point, all those hard throwers, I throw one pitch at maybe 62 miles an hour, and my elbow just wants to blow out of my arm. So like I can't imagine repeatedly trying to hit 95, 98, and then you're throwing breaking balls in there. And I think what we forget sometimes too is, yeah, their pitch count during the game can be anywhere from 80 to 100 pitches, but they've thrown 50 to 60 pitches just warming up.
Yeah.
And so it's
That's
just
a good point.
a lot on the arm. And then again, you're making it shorter for these pitchers to have a pitch violation. And so I think that, again, can be viewed as excuses or whatever, like the professional athletes. But I think that some people are still adjusting and feeling like they have to go quicker. And I think it is throwing off a lot of mechanics for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's still the velo guys that are tending to get hurt more often than not. And like I don't know what's the solution to that. Like, is it worth it to dominate for 3 years, take a year off for surgery, come back and dominate for 3 years, take a year off for surgery? Like that's what a lot of these guys seem to be doing, but it's when they are healthy, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Corey.
Well, I was just gonna say, just kind of talking about velocity, especially. There's a graphic that Codify had on Twitter where it was the average velocity per year by inning. So, historically it has been like you're back into the bullpen guys are the guys that are throwing 100 miles per hour, and it's so in 2011 the ninth inning average velocity was 94.1. Last year the first inning average velocity was 94.1. So the
That's
starters are
insane.
throwing what the average velocity of closers were 12 years ago for admittedly usually only about 5 innings now, but you just kind of see, and it's talking about in 2011, it's the average first inning velocity was 92.1. So I mean, we're only talking about 2 miles per hour, but when you think of it more as like starters are throwing closer speeds for 5 innings,
Mm-hmm.
that seems to be, and yeah, just the sustainability of it while being rushed. Like you don't get to take a break.
Yeah.
Um, if you just need a second, but
I wonder if
so
there's a way to like every 10 pitches in an inning, you earn a timeout, a free timeout or something. I don't know.
No,
Some way to give the pitcher, only the pitcher can call it. Nobody else can call it, but I don't know.
I just
And
think. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I just think too, we got to find a way to. I think you brought up a good point of you both did of having, these people throwing that closing speeds for a longer period of time. Like maybe we ask our pitchers, it's nice to have your starter to be able to hit that number, but I'd almost want a starter to you want your starter to be longevity, of course. And when I think longevity, I always think a minimum of 7 innings a game. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
quality start for me. I'm like, you give me 7 innings, cool, we'll take it from here. Maybe you find like you, and it's gonna be tough to do this. You get your starting pitchers to develop a mindset of like, okay, if I can paint corners and command 5 pitches and I'm hitting 94, 95, and then I can hit triple digits when I want to, instead of trying to go out there every single
Yeah.
fastball trying to hit that, So try to develop that. I like to call it Kyle Hendricks has never thrown that hard, but I call
oh
it the Kyle
yeah,
Hendricks method,
I
like
was about to
just
send a
out there
picture in the chat of Kyle Hendricks. So
just commanding the game, and keeping the pressure off that arm, but then just knowing you have it in your back pocket. If you need to rear back and hit triple digits real quick, you can do it.
oh,
Yeah, I've
Kyle
heard
Hendricks has got it in the bag. Just
he
I've never
saved that
shown it.
100 when you're in
let
the
the
World
big dog
Series.
eat.
Yeah. There's been a lot of like talk, like how do they adjust rules? We've talked about the DH being tied to the starters, or how do you incentivize starters to go longer? Yeah, if they were expected to go longer, they would have to back it off, but they're just not. Like 5 innings, and they're
Mhm.
like, "Whew, that was a full day." And it's it's
I
it's
guess that's
it's,
true. Yeah.
it's weird how it's changed, but um, yeah. Jason Stark for the Athletics. So once again, I'm stealing from somebody else. Wrote an article. Um, like we always say, like who's pitching? Who's the pitching matchup? And talking about just all these injuries. Just some crazy stats here. Of the 6 men who led all active pitchers in career ERA, WHIP, and WAR, 5 of them are currently hurt: Verlander, Kershaw, Scherzer, DeGrom, Cole. Of the 10 active pitchers who have won a Cy Young award, 8 are currently hurt. Those 5 guys plus Sandy, Bieber, and Ray. Of the 5 active starters who have won multiple Cy Youngs, Blake Snell's the only one healthy, and he's not pitching good. Of the 12 active starters who have led their league in strikeout at any point the last 7 seasons, take all those guys are all hurt, plus Strider and Otani. 8 guys that got Cy Young votes last year are hurt. Take a lot of those guys and add Kodai Senga and Yuri Perez, also got votes last year. So, I mean, no matter how you look at it, award winning, stats, career longevity, the best of the best are getting hurt. And it's just making for kind of some sad matchups and some disappointed. I mean, obviously, nobody's more disappointed than those players. They can't help their team. But when you have this many stars and all-stars and Cy Young Award winners missing games, I can't imagine another sport like, in the NFL, Tom Brady gets hurt, they change the rules because they want Tom Brady on the field. They find a way to make sure the quarterback stays healthy because that's who everybody's there to see. So they got to find a way to somehow keep starting pitchers healthy, but I don't know. I have no idea how they do that.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like is the alternative that they go out and they throw it 2 miles an hour slower and they get lit up? Like, I don't know if that's
Do you dead in the ball then again? Like the ball is definitely different the last few years. Like low and away is getting pooped out 450. It's like, what just happened? So can you deaden the ball a little bit so that pitchers feel okay going for more contact instead of seeking the strikeouts? I don't know.
And I think spin rate, and we haven't really talked about spin rate, but spin rate wasn't a thing. And now that it's measured, like pitchers are doing whatever they can to get those few additional RPMs because that's probably something that comes up in contract talks or arbitration hearings of spin rates. So like if you like they're going to do whatever they can to up that number so they can get paid. And it's I don't know. None of it's good.
Yeah, I assume that's a max effort every pitch to get that spin, regardless if you throw hard or not. So everybody's throwing max effort to get that extra RPM.
Yeah. I think some pitcher talked about it. Maybe it was Tyler Glasnow talking about sticky stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that could be a thing too. Like if you're gonna make these pitch, like let them use it. I mean, people were still mashing the ball when they were using it, and it's not like it was. I don't know. I think to your point, like you got to give the pitcher something. I mean, I think it's pretty evident the MLB is just worried about offense and then game moving and excitement.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still something about a pitcher out there just dominating a game that's super exciting to me.
Yeah.
So.
And I think what Glasnow was talking about is that basically when he had the sticky stuff, he could have a pretty loose grip on the ball and feel like he had control of it. Where as soon as they outlawed it, like he was just having to grab it so hard and then just tense all of those muscles up in his forearm, and I'm sure that's doing something to whatever's going on in your elbow. And if you've been pitching for 20 years, and maybe he hasn't been using it for 20 years, but probably been using it for 5 to 10 years, and then just one day you just can't do it, and now you're just grabbing that ball as hard as you can just to make sure that you can get your grip or get whatever spin you're looking for or whatever you're doing. But yeah, it just seems like everything is, we've talked about how good the rules are, but it seems like a lot of these rules and some of these analytics are what's really doing us in as far as pitcher health, which is not good because you want to see your stars out there playing every day.
For sure.
And you're paying them to do that too. So
paying them some big bucks.
Yeah.
Well, also, there's some other things that have been in the news. We've mentioned like Ipe and stuff. I haven't been following too much. I know he got out on bond. He surrendered himself, said, "I'm sorry," got out on bond. So maybe it does seem like Shohei really was in the dark in all this, which would be refreshing.
So Glasnow guest host, which I think is probably what name he talked about the sticky stuff on Chris Rose does a show with John Boy. And I think he was on yesterday, and I think Chris Rose was like, "Hey, how did the clubhouse react to Shohei? Like, were they cautious of him? Like, weren't sure if he was involved, or were like they supportive of him?" And he's like, "Oh no, we were supportive." It's like as soon as they showed up, like it seemed like Ipe was into some shady stuff. So like whenever something came out about it, like nobody was really surprised, and then I think Shohei, it sounded like was just super cooperative and was I think like just trying to get people to like go through his phone and be like, look, I have no idea what's going on. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's interesting, but it's so far so good for Shohei, but just weird that I mean it does kind of seem like his whole life he's never really been in control of much of anything of his own stuff. So maybe that's kind of where his downfall was, is that he just doesn't even know what to look for or how
Yeah.
normal people act around him. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we tend to think of and forget how early of an age he could have been considered a phenom over in Japan, So I'm sure from the young age he was definitely like, hey, do this, hey, do that, hey, we'll take care of this type of situation. And as he get older, I mean, you can definitely see him being like completely naive to some things. So I'm
Mhm.
glad it's coming more and more out that
I mean, I wouldn't have a
this
clue how to handle $700 million.
You would learn though that like you wouldn't just be like, oh
Eventually.
hey,
well,
can somebody just deal with this for
I'd
me?
probably learn, but also probably go to Dodgers like, hey, I spent all of that money, so can I get another contract?
Thanks for spreading it out over the rest of my life so I don't waste all at once. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
man.
we won't dive too much more into that, but I mean, I read an article and like some of the conversations that have come out, like about Epe with these bookies and stuff like that.
No,
It's
man.
wild, man. Like
Yeah, I haven't looked at any of it really, so.
the dude's got a problem, and
Gosh.
uh,
Well, it was always interesting because it was always very, or they made it very clear he didn't bet on baseball, and it was like, do you think that was his decision, or do you think that was the guy making the bets? Like, would you want to take bets from a guy who works with one of the best baseball players ever? Because like that would seem like a way to lose money, is if you make bets with that guy. But so it's just
yeah.
it's wild and
Long story
so
short, it was
weird.
a lot of, hey, I don't have the money right now. I'll pay you back.
But I know a guy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
So in
That's
10
great.
years, I'm not making a lot of money now, but in 10 years,
In 10
Yeah,
years, I have a lot of
was
money coming my
E-Pays
way.
deferred too?
yeah,
How's
I
that
have
work?
no idea. Hopefully he
That's
boy.
why he did it. He's mad. Jared, give a little insight into this week's plans.
Our plans?
Yeah, let the viewers know.
Yeah, so two of the three of us, I won't name any names, but I let the listeners figure out who. Um, we're headed to San Francisco, and then we're going to take a short little ride over to Oakland and watch the Oakland A's take on the Cardinals before they destroy the building. Um, and
It might get
then
destroyed on the way out.
Let's see how many
yeah,
different
Let's go.
sections you guys can sit in.
That'd be fun.
that would be kind of cool. I'm sure they'll
Yeah.
let us. I'm sure there's no rules in that stadium. Like just don't go on the field.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even then, they might be like, we don't
We
care.
might. Yeah, hey, we need a left fielder. Dibs.
There's a lot of foul territory. You can blend in.
Um, and then is it Thursday night? Thursday night.
Yep.
And who are the Giants playing?
Diamondbacks, man.
Well, that'll be a good game. And then we actually have some pretty cool seats. Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna be up on the right
In the
field
pool.
wall there
Oh.
with the
we
bay
brought our
behind
kayaks.
us. So, dude, I wonder if we get rid of. I'm surely you can apply for like $1 billion.
Oh, there's probably some
Couple
dude making a
Billies,
bunch of money over there. Yeah,
couple Billies handing out some kayaks.
that's what
Yeah,
we should.
I
I
have
mean, I know
never
we
been
were.
to either of these stadiums, so I'm excited.
Yeah, me neither. It'd be super exciting. But that's what we should. I know we were younger, but when Bonds was big, we should have just flew to San Francisco and had kayak rentals. We could have been retired by now.
Yeah, we missed that. Maybe we
And by
could do
we,
it
I mean
for.
you. You're the older one. You should have.
Maybe we could do this for Oakland when they're in their Sacramento stadium. There's got to be something we can. No, no.
Yeah, I
I
don't think you
I
guys
saw.
don't
paying any
know.
money to go watch
I
the
don't know.
Athletics
I
play
don't
in
I saw a
Sacramento.
cool logo the day, like it announced that. I don't remember if you guys sent it to me or not. If it was on Twitter, but it was like the Oakland Athletics logo, but the guy wrote the Sacramento Athletics of Las Vegas or something like that. A's. I was like, oh, that sucks.
This poor team.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
they
And
don't
they're
have a
actually
town
like
once they
they're
move.
feisty. We won't talk about Joe Boyle, but everybody else is doing all right over there.
Mason
Like
Miller is
filthy. If they
gross.
can get a lead, they got a good chance of keeping it.
Yeah. Let's see how long Mason Miller stays healthy after our discussions today, though, because that kid, he's only doing it for an inning, so maybe he's good to
Yeah.
go. But it's throwing gas.
Yeah, that list was starters for sure. So,
Yeah.
All right, take us to the weekend predictions, Corey. How did we do last week? I don't remember now. It's
Yeah.
been
So we
a little bit.
had the guest. We had Josh. Josh went 2-3, which was better than Jared and I, who went 1-4, and Aaron went 4-1. So yeah, you don't even remember, but here we are.
I don't. Jared, man, you're 1-4 both weeks, though, aren't you?
Consistency is
Jared's
what I'm
2-8.
going for this season.
Yep.
That's good, man.
Consistency. Mhm.
Nice.
Spoiler alert, we're recording this on a Monday, so I didn't put the probables in the agenda because who knows
Mhm.
whose arm's gonna fall off between now and then.
Probably mine.
Yes, it's a good chance it's one of us.
Mhm.
At
100%.
least one of us. Yeah, especially if you guys find a velocity game.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of us here has only had arm surgery before, so I think we're good, Corey.
That's true. I am the only one with arm surgery.
I probably could. I think there's probably an issue. I just
I'm
haven't
sure
went to
they
the
could go
doctor.
in here and clean a few things up. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Just go in there and just
Yeah.
laser some things out.
See, my secret is to just never go to the doctor, and then nothing's ever wrong with me.
There you
That's how that
go.
works for sure.
Yep. That's sound advice out
Yep.
there, little rakers.
My wife
You're
is
welcome,
a
moms.
medical
Avoid
professional.
the doctor.
Yeah.
That's yep.
You,
Mhm.
you
Take
never
it
know.
away.
Anyway, so we're gonna take a look at the weekend series for the 19th, 20th, and 21st of April, 2024. Currently it is 9:14 on the 15th. It is 79 degrees outside. It was pretty warm today, nice and sunny. Looks like some cloud covers rolling in, and they can expect maybe some rain tomorrow evening. What are we doing here? Oh,
What does
baseball.
that have to do with our weekend predictions? But thank
I
you
got
for the-
confused.
That was his prediction.
That was actually my audition tape to the local news station to be the weather person.
You could be the weatherman this year instead of the stat man.
That's maybe I should. It seems like an easier job.
You don't have to be
Anyway.
right. People still pay attention.
That's true. The first one we're going to take a look at is the Tigers at Twins. Twins won the Central last year. I'm high on the Tigers this year. I still what?
How do you get high on tigers?
You wouldn't know. You're too old.
Even I don't know.
It's
It's a- it's a-
high of the tiger. Okay, sorry. Got to sing at least
So-
once.
This is off the rails. I'm gonna take the Tigers. Twins, I just don't. They're so mediocre, and they don't do anything, and they're just like, hey,
They don't
mediocre was
deserve
good
it.
enough last year. Yeah, so I just think the Tigers got a little bit more fight in them. It's the fight of the Tigers. Anyway, I'll take the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Tigers too because I can definitely see a tiger beating a twin.
Ooh, but that means there's two of them.
I'll still take the tiger.
I go
And
Tigers.
one of them is Danny DeVito.
But the other's Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
Yeah, I mean, you know which.
So it's like
That
50-50.
changes everything.
It's like a snack and an entree for the tiger. An appetizer and an entree. All right, moving on.
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
Okay, Rangers at Braves. The Braves offense is still very good. Braves pitching, I don't know.
It's there.
There are people throwing the baseball. It's
Jesse
similar.
Chavez looks really good,
Yes.
guys. He's getting a lot of work. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm gonna take the Rangers just because I think that they've not done as good as they should have been so far this year, and also the Braves. I don't know who's pitching for them other than Jesse Chavez and Charlie Morton, which
They
might
don't
be the
either.
two oldest players in the baseball this year.
They are the two oldest players.
My brave insight, just real quick, is the guy on this pod, and he sends us Ozuna facts almost daily. So until that stops, I'm going to pick the Braves.
We haven't got one today.
They haven't
That's
played
true.
yet.
Oh,
I don't think they
okay.
played yet. Yeah, so who would have thought Marcell Ozuna would be leading the National League in homers with 7, RBIs with 21? I don't know if you saw him that 3-run bomb he hit to win the game yesterday, it was going to hit him in the ankle if he didn't swing, and he somehow hits it out. Just when he is on fire, he hits the stupidest pitches. He's slugging 742, so that's probably pretty good. So good thing
Good to ask.
because everybody's slugging 742 against the Braves. So Braves.
Everybody's slugging 742 against the Braves, but I'm going to pick the Braves.
Because the Braves are slugging 842.
Okay.
Nice.
Next is the Red Sox at Pirates, which I think, all in all, I think both kind of surprising teams so far. No?
Not to this guy.
Okay. But I meant that more in like the Red Sox are surprising that they're, I guess, above 500.
Surprising themselves.
They got a lot of good. Well, a lot might be a stretch. They got some good players, and I think their pitching has done a lot better this year. It's because Andrew Bailey, I think, took the helm over there, former Athletics and Red Sox closer. It seems like he's doing some good stuff. So I'll take the Red Sox, which is just because I don't want the Pirates to win.
That might be the best pirate
moron.
over there. So I'm taking
That's
the
Steampunk
Pirates.
Pirate.
That's
Yeah.
Steampunk Pirate.
Pirates.
I got the Pirates.
Pirates.
All right, Brewers at Cardinals. So you guys are gonna go watch the Cardinals play the Athletics, then come home and watch the Brewers play the Cardinals. I don't think the Brewers are as good as they are, but I think they're better than the Cardinals. Brewers.
I'm gonna stick with my birds.
Oh my God, what are you doing now?
More props.
You're brewing a pot of tea.
Yeah.
Got it.
Brewers.
all
No,
right.
actually, I'm going Cardinals. Sorry. I didn't have a red
Oh my
bird in
gosh.
here. I'm going Cardinals. I think this is the week the Cardinals get hot. Got Oakland and then get a go home and host the Brewers.
So are you guys going to the D-backs and Giants game Thursday night, you said? Okay, well that game doesn't count for this.
Right.
So
It's a teaser.
yeah, it's an appetizer, I think, is to the
It's a amuse-bouche.
it's an hors d'oeuvre. Anyway, I'm gonna take the Giants because I've been pretty happy with how the Giants have been, and I just want to be different because I think you guys are both gonna take the D-backs.
Yeah.
Jared?
Give me the rattlesnakes.
Oh my gosh. Did you pick the Brewers, Jared?
Nope. I picked the Cardinals.
So we're gonna match Tigers,
And
Braves,
I've been
Yes.
Pirates.
He's 1 and
Cardinals.
4 the past both times we've done this so far.
Oh my gosh. Just so we're not the same, I'll say Giants.
Oh boy.
I would've-
dude.
Should have saved the Braves one for the
It's-
last.
It's for
That
fun.
hurts my feelings.
It's for fun.
All right, so you guys are almost the same, except switching on the Giants D-backs. And then I picked almost everything different except for the Tigers, which I'll pick the Tigers over the Twins. So
Ooh.
Look
what
at
are
us.
you surprised by that? You were here.
I know. Sorry.
Okay.
Hey, you've been here the whole time.
The call was coming from inside that room, and your neighbors heard it clearly
Yeah.
and saw it.
I've got the windows open right now because I have an air conditioner in here. All right, guys. So, like Jared said, we're going to have a little mini vacation this week. So that's why we're recording on a Monday. Get it done this week. And then then Corey's going on a vacation with his family. And so our recording schedule is going to be kind of hit or miss next couple weeks. We do plan on bringing in some more mystery GMs as the season progresses. We're working on dates and times to line those guys up to have some fun with them. And we're just looking forward to an awesome season at Rake Your Position. We're going to be leaving on a jet plane. So just
All right, say the thing.
I'm waiting.
Oh my
Until
God.
next time, don't forget to rate
Rake
your
position.
Position.
I was hoping it would start counting down, but it doesn't.
So you get interrupted. I don't know.